This is not the engine I removed from the bike, but it is an engine what we are most probably going to be using in it from now on. It will require a lot of TLC by the look of things. See, this engine here I don't know anything about, so just to make sure I'm going to be stripping it down, as I was a bit dubious about the person who I bought it off of. They claimed that it was a working engine. Well, it probably was, but as you will see later on, there are issues, and they tried to hide a few things as well, to say the least. Well, this is the generator side, which is just about to come off. This is either the last or the second to the last Allen bolt coming off. It's the last by the look of it, the way that's moving. Easy does it. There you go. Boop. See, all this looks pretty clean in there. That black cap there, that's the cover for the start appendix. What I should have done now is started to undo the pickup sensor there. Where my thumb is there now, there's a pickup sensor right there. What are you doing? Have control on it, come on. Unbelievable. You can't get stuff nowadays, can you? Yeah, there's a little washer there. This is meant to be a spring washer, and it was just a normal washer in there. They're lucky it didn't unwind itself really. Now we have exposed the generator side, we're going to have to remove the magnets, well, the rotor for it, shall we say, using a specialist tool to remove this, because you will not get any kind of other pullers behind this. And if you do attempt to do something like this using a 3-jaw puller, you're more likely to bust it really, and it'll be costing you more money to replace it. So please use a tool like what I've got there and ensure all screws are tightened down as much as they can without over tightening them. What this does is put equal pressure across that plate there, which is designed to take, and using a central bolt to push down on the actual crank. You will probably have to use the impact gun on this as well, because these are on tight. When I mean tight, they are as tight can be. So use an impact gun. There you go. Doesn't need to be hugely tight, none of this stuff. No, the other way, come on. There you go, let's break that loose. You can see it coming out now. What are you doing? You should have done the sensor first. Have a look. 2 8mm bolts and you forgot to do them. God, blimey. He's just made things a lot harder for himself to do now. Well, not really. But he could have damaged the sensor. If you pulled up against that sensor, you could have cracked the case in anything. But putting jokes aside, it's probably best practice to remove the sensor before even attempting to take this item off. That way any damages will be eliminated. I should have known better really. I had to buy a new sensor not too long ago because the original engine, I lost mine and it turned up 2-3 weeks ago. Unbelievable, isn't it? So yeah, I think I paid about £75 for it in the end. Once the sensor is safely stored away, it can just be easily pulled away. And you can remove the wood draft key, keep that in a safe place, because you'll be trying to find it another time. More than likely I'll lose it again anyway. The coils are held in by another 3 sets of 6mm or M6 Allen bolts. My coil was a bit stuck on there. I had to persuade it to come off by using a screwdriver through one of the M6 drilled holes there and just jiggled it up and down. I couldn't pull it, no love nor money would move it. Another thing what has to be removed now is the starter bendix. That's that little gear thing there I just pulled out. I don't know if you heard it before. If you push the starter and all you hear is the starter motor just turning, normally the bendix will have been stuck a little bit. What I did is just, there you go, pop, wiggled it up and down a little bit and it popped off. Obviously been on there for some time. So I don't know what that crank is. I really don't know what it is. I really don't think it's a standard OEM one. You'll see later on in the video. I'm going to remove the sprocket now using the circlip pliers and removing the circlip. The circlip was really loose. There was no spring tension on there whatsoever. Just a word of caution, please do not reuse anything that you think that you might get away with, because if you might get away with it, you might not. I am going to be binning every single seal throughout this engine, and every circlip that I have removed I will be getting replacements, the same as any oil rings. You just can't trust them. The age of these engines now are really getting there now, and you're going to replace your life on the hands of these old rubbers. I wouldn't. Welcome to the clutch side. All this here was already disassembled. When I had it, there was nothing on this side at all. And again, straight in there with the old drill, undoing all the Allen keys, and screw keys, or whatever you call them. Allen bolts. Let's call them Allen bolts. Well, in this side of the engine, you got normally the clutch, which is housed on there. Where the drill is now, you see that white here? That's a water pump. And underneath that, you've got the crank. To the right hand side of that, you've got the balance shaft. The balance shaft is geared with 2 nylon gears. I think it's nylon anyway. My replacement ones I got from PJME, and they are red, and they seem to be pretty good quality, to be honest. Anything that you're looking for these engines, PJME have probably already got it on the shelf. And if they haven't got it on the shelf, they can tell you where to get it. You know, Rotax engines are normally still available for parts from Rotax as well. But if you're looking for some aftermarket stuff, PJME is the way to go, really. When you're working on a project like this, it's always good to work on a tray or something. This way it keeps everything all together. You're less likely to lose bits as you go along. You can see I'm just whacking all these bolts out and just putting straight on the tray, out of the way. I think there's like 11 or 12 Allen screws holding the casing in. I'm not counting them, but I'm sure people just know straight off the top of their head. They'll probably say, yeah, 12 Allen screws, that's all it is. My honest opinion is that when I put an engine back together again, I tried to change the nuts and bolts to stainless steel. They last a bit longer, in my opinion. I'm sure there's other people who will say different. If you've got a different opinion on these fasteners, let me know in the comments, and I'm sure we can have a little discussion. I'd be fascinated to know how well we'll get on with these conversations with fasteners. Fasteners are just something, isn't it, really? I've taken many nuts and bolts off in the past and they've been rotten. Stainless steel always stays normally pretty good. When I put stainless steel nuts and bolts into aluminium, I normally use a small amount of lithium grease or even a copper anti-seize inside it. That way they're not actually going to cause any issue at all. But that's my rant over about fasteners. It's just a stupid little thing, really. They're just a device that holds A to B together. End of. Yeah, that water pump's not moving. Stop trying. There we go. There's even less components on there. It's getting less and less all the time. I'm just making sure that all the fasteners are all removed before I put the crankcase splitter on. As you can see in here, it almost looks like a flux capacitor, doesn't it? Great Scott! Let's use 3 stainless steel fasteners to attach this flux capacitor to the side of the engine there. We may get to 1.1 gigawatts while we undo this. Only joking. But this tool works pretty well. Available on most of these online retailers. Well, this is one of those tools that is more likely to sit in the back of your toolbox, rusting away when you've only used it once or twice. But the thing is, if you haven't got it, you really can't do this job that well. If you do it in the other way, you're more likely to crack the casings. Best to get the job to do it properly. This isn't the proper tool what they probably recommend, but I've never had an issue with it. As you can see, I'm just buzzing it down, putting a bit of tension on it, and once I've got a bit of tension on it, I roll it to the side, grab my hammer and give it a couple of love taps, and it'll start separating. And once it starts separating, I'll give it a couple of taps on the other side, then I'll just send it home once I know it's lifted off the pegs. Well, should we say the dowels of the engine there, engine dowels. There you go, a couple of sharp blows on the side there, and that's what it needs. You can see there's a constant crack all the way around. So using the impact gun, I just wind it down a bit further and it all separates off. Nice and easy. No strain, no stress, no drama. I like it when a plan comes together, especially when you're, trying so hard to restore something. Before you know it, you've actually exposed the internals of the engine. You can see the crankshaft is exposed very well there, and you can see all the gears there, all in location. I can't see much wrong with the gears there, but all I can see, you see that stuff on my finger there for a second, that is K-seal. So someone had an overheating problem with this engine at some point, and they thought it was a good idea to use K-seal in this. K-seal only goes off if it is exposed to the emissions of the exhaust. Otherwise it's pointless using it. If you're trying to plug a radiator or anything like that, it won't go off. The only way K-seal goes off is if it's exposed to the exhaust gases. That's the select shaft there, and the first couple of gears coming off. Stupidly I dropped that fork down the back of my bloody desk there. I did swear there, but I'll have to fish it out later. What a muppet. But everything else went well. The final drive shaft, I had to give it a couple of taps on the back of it, a couple of rapid taps there, and go on, a bit harder. It's still not moving. Oh, here it goes, and it's there, done. All these gears will have a proper inspection later on. I've got several sets of gears, so I can easily make a really good gearbox up. I'm sure the gearbox is fine there. Right, let's try to get this crankshaft out, or what other people call the rotating assembly. And again, we use the flux capacitor again to remove it on that side. Doesn't just split the cases, it withdraws the actual crankshaft as well. So it's a multi-purpose tool really. for saying that, it removed the crankshaft on the other side when you split the engine. Those nice stainless steel screws have gone back into it, and again, once they're tight-ish, there's not much tension on this side anyway. It's not like you're splitting the engine in half this time. I use the impact gun again to make it withdraw itself. You don't have to go mad, it's just a couple of buzz. You can see I'm not even going fast on it. It just falls off. Easy as. So because it's got these elongated slots on this tool, I imagine it is quite a versatile tool. And if I was to have to withdraw another crank from another engine, or not necessarily a crank, but anything what needs to be pushed out, and I could bolt it to the side or something, this tool would probably be the one I'll go to. It is so easy to use, and it's only like 30 quid, as I said. Bargain. This one here I bought next day delivery. I'm pretty sure you can buy it from another retailer, but it'll take you about a month or two. Can you see the amount of grease they've put on there? I reckon that this engine had been really overheated. It's blown the main seals, I think. You see the discoloration on the balance bearing there. It's gone blue and orange. I don't understand that. Has anyone seen a crankshaft like this? I don't think it really is an OEM one. You can see the con rod's been ground right back, but that doesn't mean a thing. But I couldn't see any markings on the actual side of the con rod to say what make it was. I did have a part number on the webbing on the crankshaft. I've looked the part number up, nothing come back on that. I'm very dubious about it. Would you give it a go? I don't know if I would, but you know, obviously it was working, so it must be okay. It's not caused any damage to the actual casing. It must be okay. But when I'm building this up, I've got a nice Italkit one going back in there. I've purchased one of the upgraded con rods from Italkit to go inside it, as well as the crank itself being an Italkit, so it's going to be nicely paired. The Ital crank is silver plated, I understand, so it should be quite high resistance. I had a failure on my one, I don't know why. I let it warm up in the back garden, I gave it a couple of revs, and the whole thing just seized up on it. I weren't happy at all, because it wasn't long ago when I rebuilt the engine. It barely done 400 miles. I'm removing the neutral indicator sensor there. That runs on the actual selector drum using an indent. When the indent locates onto that, you've got that nice green light what illuminates on your dash. And also that annoying thing, if you've got your kickstand down, it will not run if you're in gear. I just knocked out these seals, as I said. I will not be reusing them, and they were as hard could be. So that just goes to show that my original suspicion was correct, that these seals are no good, either due to being overheated. I know the engine had been exposed to extreme heat conditions in the past. This is probably what made the head or the base gasket weep, or it could even be the there's like a little frost plug at the top of the case. People get confused and think it's a water pump protection thing. It's not, it's an actual frost plug, and you can plug it back up again. I imagine the engine was leaking through that or something, but the balance shaft bearing had been blued, so I don't know what happened there. Did the bearing seize up? I don't know, could have been. But saying that, I never had the clutch side on it, so if the balance bearing did go on it, it probably took out every single one of those plastic gears in the side of that casing. I wouldn't know, never had that side come with the engine. I started removing some of these bearings, gently tapping on each one what I could get to easily. Eventually some of them came out, I weren't forcing the other ones. I'm going to heat the cases up in the oven for a little while, let the casings expand, which I have done to these engine casings before, and they all just drop out. You don't have to put too much heat on it. Well, too much heat would be horrible for the engine anyway. Right, so I'm going to be cleaning these engine cases up just to get the worst of the contaminants off the outside of the case before I send the cases off to get aqua blasted. What is your opinion on aqua blasting? I love the aqua blasting. It brings everything back to a nice satin sheen to the actual casings, and it gives it a nice key in if you want to get it Cerakoted after. I really do like the Cerakoting stuff. It's durable and it is chemically resistant as well. You can't beat the Cerakoting system, to be honest. I know. I should be wearing gloves right now, shouldn't I, really? Very good, isn't it? You can't beat an engine case that is clean, can you? Well, after it's been cleaned, you could probably put it back together again as it is, but I won't be happy with that. I need to make the thing look like it's better than factory. What colour would you paint the engines? I like the burnt bronze colour. You can almost get every single colour you can think of. I do have a satin black. I think that'll look quite cool on it. I imagine if I was to do the burnt bronze and I'd done the side cases in a satin black as well, that would make the engine stand out even further than what you would imagine. Also, I like the look of the carbon effect cases as well, or even the carbon cases. What colour combinations do you like, or would you like? Let me know in the comment box below. And at the same time, please like and subscribe to this channel. Every person who likes and subscribes to this channel makes a difference. And the more you do this, the more I get recommended to other people. So please make the best effort in doing this for me. So while I've got these cases apart, I would probably want to get some modifications done to the actual engine cases itself. Any recommendations of what I could do? You know, nothing major or anything like that. Just a few little improvements, like on the transfers, you know, anything like that. I noticed on the DD2 cylinder that the Boyton ports go all the way back, and potentially they could probably come back on the casing on this as well. What do you think? Is it just too little on that, or is it not worth the effort of doing something like that? Are these engines strong enough to do anything else on there? At the end of the day, you know, if I can try to get things improved while it's in bits, I want to do something like that. But if it's not worth the while on it, I'll just leave it alone, clean it up, put it back together again, new gaskets, new bearings, and away I go. I'll probably put new studs on there, a bit of stainless steel studs or titanium studs. My last engine had titanium ones on there. I loved that. That was pretty cool. A bit of bling bling on there. What about the exhaust valves as well, the power valves? I've got the original one on there. Are the pneumatic ones any better than the ones you can, well, the standard one? I still can't believe once you got these engines together, how fast these can go. It's an unbelievable amount of power for how little they weigh. Really can't believe it. It's incredible. It was really designed well back in the day. My original one I had was a Rotax 123 engine. Well, still uses a similar cylinder. You can bolt these cylinders straight on nowadays, can't you? Because they're all been slotted out to fit one another. But back then, you had to drill the hole to make things fit. At the time, you couldn't fit a 122 cylinder to a 123. The only way you could do it was to machine the stud holes because they didn't line up. Then I think the transfers are slightly different and other things. But the 123 had a slightly better gearbox, if I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the case, wasn't it? So did we actually have a downgrade, in fact, using a 122? Or was the engine actually severely upgraded? The key thing is to try to get this engine as clean as possible before I get it to aquablasting. It makes less work for them, doesn't it? And also, you don't get dirty touching it. So it's almost a win-win really, isn't it? In your opinion, what is your best degreaser? I can't fault kerosene really. It's nice and cheap. It doesn't smell too much really. And it's easily to get rid of after as well. I normally just chuck it in with my waste oil. Take it down the tip once I've got enough. Well, yeah, as I finish off doing all this cleaning, I do have a part number for that crank, which I really don't know about. If it was a Rotax number, it would have come straight up anyway, and this isn't. The number is L_P_2302629. Really don't know what it is. It's really peculiar. I don't know what I should do with it anyway. It seems okay, but it's unknown. If I could find a known on it and I could read up on it, I might consider using it in the future. But as for now, I'm going to stick with my e-tail kit stuff or Rotax. So I'm still pretty new at doing all this YouTube stuff, but at the same time I enjoy making these, and I'm sure the process will get a bit easier and things get more cleaner as I go along. I'm doing my best, so you have to bear with me. Please come back, watch more, and there will be more content. Have a good evening everyone, or good day, and enjoy. Safe riding everyone.